siblings. We are super excited. We're going to get into our Bible study on Joshua today. Madeline was actually the one that set up the Bible study today, and I just want to know, why did you choose Joshua?
You keep asking me this like it's a setup. I don't know. It just sounded interesting. I don't know.
Great. Well, we're really excited to get into it. Maddie and I are eating our dinner. We'll try to keep our chewing sounds to a minimum. But we were both really hungry. We've been working all day and realized
lost track of time.
We needed to eat. So we're going to be eating during our Bible study. So come along. Let's eat dinner. Let's read Joshua and have a bunch of fun. But how's your week been so far, Maddie?
Really good. Strangely busy. Not strangely, because we're always like, we keep ourselves busy because it's fun. We like to live the life God gave us. But we've been going to the theme parks, hanging out with friends. The other day we got to go to the beach. It was a super last minute. We went to a church in Celebration for the first time. I think we're going to go back again this Sunday to see how it is.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've just been having a lot of fun. We got to, we haven't been to the beach in a while.
I haven't been in probably 2 years or a year.
I love how you're talking with your mouth full on camera. But that's going to be fun going down in history, huh? Anyway, yeah, we haven't been to the beach in quite a while. So it was quite fun getting a chance to enjoy that again and take a new friend with us and get to introduce a beach that we know. So hopefully we'll get to go to other beaches sometime in the future.
Yeah, that was a blast. Kensley was saying that there was a Cocoa Beach.
That is Cocoa Beach.
That was Cocoa Beach?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we were on North Cocoa Beach.
And what was the place that we parked at called? Sorry. Merritt Island.
No, Jetty Park.
What is Merritt Island?
Look it up.
Why did that come to my head? Let's see.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, yesterday we went and saw We the Kingdom at Epcot, and we also ran around and just enjoyed different things at Epcot, which was super awesome.
Merritt Island is literally
behind it.
Yeah.
Cool.
I don't know how I knew that.
Good for you.
Look at me. I know geology.
Geography. Geology is rocks. Geology is rocks.
I felt like I said that wrong. And I was like, it'd be really funny if I said it wrong on accident and then you correct me. I did think geology. Okay, anyways. So yeah. Geography.
Mm-hmm.
So you want me to talk? Okay.
Yeah, because I'm very hungry. We've been working on Empyrean, our graphic novel coming soon. Actually, we got an official date today, so we're excited.
Yeah.
We'll share it as it gets closer.
Oh,
but
I was really excited.
Mm-mm.
Not saying it. Okay. I'm getting it. And what? I'm hungry too. I would like to eat. I could read the Joshua intro real quick.
So let's read the Joshua intro. And then if anybody has questions, I'm sorry, today's a little funky because we were hungry.
Yeah, and honestly, 10 minutes ago, I got up from my computer from work. So sorry if my brain's a little there. Okay, but Joshua's intro. The book of Joshua and Judges tells the story of the early years of Israel as a nation. They describe how the Israelites conquer and occupy the land of Canaan and then struggle to live up to their covenant with God. The Bible's drama here moves to an important new stage. God's people are in God's land, yet it becomes clear that the road to reconciliation between God and humanity will not be easy. The story describes the preparation and battles of Israel's invasion, as well as how the land was divided among the tribes. Since pockets of resistance remained, Joshua in his final speech urges each tribe to take full possession of its territory. Next, he leads the people to renew their commitment to the covenant relationship with God. Judges then relates the troubling cycle of Israel's repeated covenant breaking, falling under the rule of other nations and then crying out to God for help. God responds by raising up judges to fight for them and save them. But the relief is temporary as Israel falls back into wrongdoing once again. Judges are both military leaders and legal authorities. Just as Israel is made up of 12 tribes, so the book tells of 12 judges. But as the people persist in going their own way, we see that they have rejected their true judge and ruler. As the anarchy and atrocities increase, Israel's need for a king becomes more evident. By the end, the questions are urgent. Can Israel fulfill its destiny in calling to be God's light to the nations? Who can rule Israel to help it find its proper role in the drama?
I got cottage cheese all over Dad's face.
What?
Because
Oh,
Dad's
you're wearing
face.
his shirt?
Yeah, I'm
That
wearing,
sounded really weird at first.
Mm.
I didn't get the
I'm wearing a
context.
shirt with my dad's face, and I got cottage cheese all over it. There you go. Context by Calvin Klein. Yeah. So very interesting. It actually sounds like an introduction to like an adventure book or a sci-fi thriller. All right, let's read Joshua 1.
Because God wrote the ultimate sci-fi thriller.
Yeah, I'm excited because I don't know why. I just felt like this was the book. I was going through the random books in the Bible, and I was like, there's 66 books to choose from. Which one shall we do this week? This one.
Joshua is certainly an interesting one.
She keeps saying this.
Because they're all interesting.
Okay. Let me take one last bite of cottage cheese and let's Geo. All right. I gotta drink a little bit of milk too because that will up.
You didn't eat a house everything that fast.
Now. Yes, I did. It's because it's time to focus on Joshua. All right. Joshua installed as leader. After the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord said to Joshua, son of Nun, Moses' aide, Moses, my servant is dead. Now then, you and all these people get ready to cross the Jordan, in the Jordan River into the land I'm about to give them, to the Israelites. I will give you every place where you set your foot, as I promised Moses. Your territory will extend from the desert to Lebanon and from the great river, the Euphrates, all the Hittite country, to the Mediterranean Sea in the west. No one will be able to stand against you all the days of your life. As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. Be strong and courageous, because you will lead these people to inherit the land I swore to their ancestors to give them. Be strong and very courageous. Be careful to obey all the law my servant Moses gave you. Do not turn from it to the right or to the left, that you may be successful wherever you go. Keep this book of the law always on your lips. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to do everything written in it. Then you'll be prosperous and successful. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. So Joshua ordered the officers of the people, go through the camp and tell the people, get your provisions ready. 3 days from now, you will cross the Jordan here to go in and take possession of the land the Lord your God is giving you for your own. But the Reubenites, the Gadites, and half tribe of Manasseh, Joshua said, remember, it says, but to the Reubenites, the Gadites, and the half tribe of Manasseh, Joshua said, remember the command that Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave you after he said, the Lord your God will give you rest by giving you this land. Your wives, your children, and your livestock may stay in the land that Moses gave you east of the Jordan, but all your fighting men ready for battle must cross over ahead of your fellow Israelites. You are to help them until the Lord gives them rest, as he has done for you, and until they too have taken possession of the land the Lord your God is giving them. After that, you may go back and occupy your own land, which Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave you east of the Jordan toward the sunrise.
Sorry, I'm not trying to chew that loud. I didn't even realize.
It's so hard.
I'm sorry. Okay, I will wait.
You're just so loud. Like I turn. Like
I'm paying attention.
Okay. Then they answered Joshua, whatever you have commanded us, we will do, and wherever you send us, we will go. Just as we fully obeyed Moses, so we will obey you. Only may the Lord your God be with you as he was with Moses. Whoever rebels against your word and does not obey it, whatever you may command them, will be put to death. Only be strong and courageous. Interesting introduction.
Bro, you can't just read one. Let's get to the next.
Mm-hmm.
Rahab and the spies. Oh my gosh, I love Rahab. Rahab is one of my favorite Bible characters.
What are you doing right now?
I don't know. I just love Rahab. Dude, so like, honestly, the first time I read through the Bible, at this point, I was like, finally, we're getting some action. We don't have to talk about tabernacles and pomegranates and gold. You know? So I was really excited. And I love Joshua.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, Rahab and the spies. Okay. Then Joshua, son of Nun, secretly sent 2 spies from Shittim. Go, look over the land, he said, especially Jericho. So they went and entered the house of a prostitute named Rahab and stayed there. The king of Jericho was told, Look, some of the Israelites have come here tonight to spy out the land. So the king of Jericho sent this message to Rahab, Bring out the men who came to you and enter your house, because they had come to spy out the whole land. But the woman had taken the 2 men and hidden them. She said, Yes, the men came to me, but I did not know where they had come from. At dusk, when it was time to close the city gate, they left. I don't know which way they went. Go after them quickly. You may catch up with them. But she had taken them up to the roof and hidden them under the stalks of flax she had laid out on the roof. So the men set out in pursuit of the spies on the road that leads to the fords of the Jordan. And as soon as the pursuers had gone out, the gate was shut. Before the spies lay down for the night, she went up on the roof and said to them, I know that the Lord has given you this land and that a great fear of you has fallen on us, so that all who live in this country are melting in fear because of you. We have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for when you came out of Egypt, and what you did to Sihon and Og and the 2 kings of the Amorites east of the Jordan, whom you completely destroyed. When we heard of it, our hearts melted with fear, and everyone's courage failed because of you. For the Lord your God is God in heaven above and on the earth below. Now then, please swear to me by the Lord that you will show kindness to my family, because I have shown kindness to you. Give me sure sign that you will spare the lives of my father and my mother, my brothers and sisters, and all who belong to them, and that you will save us from death. Our lives for your lives. The men assured her, If you don't tell what we are doing, we will treat you kindly and faithfully when the Lord gives us the land. So she let them down by a rope through the window, for the house she lived in was part of the city wall. She said to them, Go to the hills so the pursuers will not find you. Hide yourselves there 3 days until they return, and then go on your way. Now the men had said to her, This oath you made us swear will not be binding on us, unless, when we enter the land, you have tied this scarlet cord in the window through which you let us down, and unless you have brought your father and mother, your brothers and all your family into your house. If any of them go outside your house into the streets, their blood will be on their own heads. We will not be responsible. As for those who are in the house with you, their blood will be on our head if a hand is laid on them. But if you tell what we are doing, we will be released from the oath you made us swear. Agreed, she replied. Let it be as you say. So she sent them away, and they departed, and she tied the scarlet cord in the window. When they left, they went into the hills and stayed there 3 days until the pursuers had searched all along the road and returned without finding them. Then the 2 men started back. They went down out of the hills, forded the river, and came to Joshua, son of Nun, and told him everything that had happened to them. They said to Joshua, The Lord has surely given the whole land into our hands. All the people are melting in fear because of you.
Because of us.
Because of us. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You gotta be specific. It's the Bible.
Well, it's actually really fun because the last people that went and spied on the promised land came out full of fear and lied. And so them being like, hey, we are surely delivering this into our hands. Yeah. That's really cool because they were walking into the faithfulness of God.
That is cool.
Crossing the Jordan. Oh my gosh, this is fire. I love crossing the Jordan. I didn't know
No, the
this.
fire came before the last river crossing with Moses. Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't know this when I first read this.
All right, Joshua 3, crossing the Jordan. I'm going to move our stuff a little closer.
Oh, and one last fact. Rahab goes on to become the great grandmother of Jesus.
Oh, it's a chick?
Rahab the prostitute.
Oh, I'm learning, guys. All right. See, you can laugh, but I didn't know. Okay. Early in the morning, Joshua and all the Israelites set out from Shittim and went to the Jordan, where they camped before crossing over. After 3 days, the officers went throughout the camp, giving orders to the people. When you see the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord your God and the Levitical priests carrying it, you are to move out from your positions and follow it. Then you will know which way to go, since you have never been this way before. But keep a distance of about 2,000 cubits, aka 3,000 feet or 900 meters, between you and the ark. Do not go near it. Joshua told the people, "Consecrate yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do amazing things among you." Joshua said to the priests, "Take up the Ark of the Covenant and pass on ahead of the people." So they took it up and went ahead of them. And the Lord said to Joshua, "Today I will begin to exalt you in the eyes of all Israel, so they may know that I am with you as I was with Moses. Tell the priests who carry the Ark of the Covenant, when you reach the edge of the Jordan's waters, go and stand in the river." Joshua said to the Israelites, "Come here and listen to the words of the Lord your God. This is how you will know that the living God is among you, and that he will certainly drive out before you the Canaanites, Hittites, Hivites, Perizzites, Girgashites, Amorites, and Jebusites. See, the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord of all the earth will go into the Jordan ahead of you. Now then, choose 12 men from the tribes of Israel, one from each tribe, and as soon as the priests who carry the Ark of the Lord of all the earth, set foot in the Jordan, its waters flowing downstream will be cut off and stand up in a heap." So when the people broke camp to cross the Jordan, the priests carrying the Ark of the Covenant went ahead of them. Now the Jordan is at a flood stage during harvest. Yet as soon as the priests who carried the Ark reached the Jordan and their feet touched the water's edge, the water from upstream stopped flowing. It piled up in a heap a great distance away, at a town called Adam in the vicinity of Zarethan, while the water flowing down to the sea of the Arabah, that is, the Dead Sea, was completely cut off. So the people crossed over opposite Jericho. The priests who carried the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord stopped in the middle of the Jordan and stood on dry ground, while all Israel passed by until the whole nation had completed the crossing on dry ground. Whoa. That's pretty dope.
I didn't know that the first time I read, so
I thought it only happened once.
No, it happens a lot more than once.
That was so beautiful.
Sorry, that sounded horrible.
When the whole you know what's funny about that is that would be an audio I would clip as your older sister when I was a few years ago. I would have clipped that audio and put it as my notification tone. Then anytime we were in public and I hear, then you'll be like, "That was you. That's my sister calling. Don't worry. That's my sister.
Yeah,
She's
I don't
telling
know
me
what
I
that
got a notification." Okay,
When
I'm
the
done.
whole nation had finished crossing the Jordan, the Lord said to Joshua, "Choose 12 men from among the people, one from each tribe, and tell them to take up 12 stones from the middle of the Jordan, from right where the priests are standing, and carry them over with you, and put them down at a place where you stay tonight." So Joshua called together the 12 men he had appointed from the Israelites, one from each tribe, and said to them, "Go over before the ark of the Lord your God into the middle of the Jordan. Each of you is to take up a stone on his shoulder, according to the number of the tribes of Israel of the Israelites, to serve as a sign among you. In the future, when your children ask you, 'What do these stones mean?' tell them that the flow of the Jordan was cut off before the ark of the covenant of the Lord. When it crossed the Jordan, the waters of the Jordan were cut off. These stones are to be a memorial to the people of Israel forever." So the Israelites did as Joshua commanded them. They took 12 stones from the middle of the Jordan, according to the number of the tribes of the Israelites, as the Lord had told Joshua, and they carried them over with them to their camp, where they put them down. Joshua set up the 12 stones that had been in the middle of the Jordan at the spot where the priests who carried the Ark of the Covenant had stood, and they are there to this day. Now the priests who carried the ark remained standing in the middle of the Jordan until everything the Lord had commanded Joshua was done by the people, just as Moses had directed Joshua. The people hurried over, and as soon as all of them had crossed, the ark of the Lord and the priests came to the other side, while the people watched. The men of Reuben, Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh crossed over, ready for battle, in front of the Israelites, as Moses had directed them. About 40,000 armed for battle crossed over before the Lord to the plains of Jericho for war. That day the Lord exalted Joshua in the sight of all Israel, and they stood in awe of him all the days of his life, just as they had stood in awe of Moses. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Command the priests carrying the ark of the covenant law to come up out of the Jordan." So Joshua commanded the priests, "Come up out of the Jordan." And the priests came up out of the river, carrying the ark of the covenant of the Lord. No sooner had they set their feet on the dry ground than the waters of the Jordan returned their place and ran at flood stage as before. On the 10th day of the first month, the people went up from the Jordan and camped at Gilgal on the eastern border of Jericho. And Joshua set up at Gilgal the 12 stones they had taken out of the Jordan. He said to the Israelites, "In the future, when your descendants ask their parents, 'What do these stones mean?' Tell them, 'Israel crossed the Jordan on dry ground. The Lord your God dried up the Jordan before you until you had crossed over. The Lord your God did to the Jordan what he had done to the Red Sea, when he dried it up before us until we had crossed over. He did this so that all the people of the earth might know that the hand of the Lord is powerful, and so that you might always fear the Lord your God."
So cool. I wonder if those rocks really are still there.
I don't know.
You could look it up, see if people found that.
Are the stones the Israel?
Joshua 4 is where you had found it.
Is
Just gonna look up and see if those stones are actually still there, or if anybody knows where they are.
crossing the Jordan still at Gilgal? So that's my golly.
Is it yes?
Looking.
All right. While she looks, I'm going to continue reading Joshua.
The AI thing says no.
We'll do some more research and let you guys know.
Yeah.
Now, when all the Amorite kings west of the Jordan and all the Canaanite kings along the coast heard how the Lord had dried up the Jordan before the Israelites until they had crossed over, their hearts melted in fear, and they no longer had the courage to face the Israelites. At that time, the Lord said to Joshua, "Make flint knives and circumcise the Israelites again." So Joshua made flint knives and circumcised the Israelites at Gibeath Haaraloth.
Dude.
How do you circumcise them again?
You
The hill of foreskin?
do it again. So all of the men.
That's really rough, guys.
All of
I'm
the
so
men.
sorry, guys. Like, okay. All right.
What did you do for love?
Close your mouth and smaller bites. And stop talking with your mouth full, you ding dong. We're on camera. By the way, we literally found ding dongs today. I'm sorry for calling you a ding dong all the time. Okay. Now, this is why he did so. We go from circumcision
I need to know why.
All those who came out of Egypt, all the men of military age, died in the wilderness on the way after leaving Egypt. All the people that came out had been circumcised, but all the people born in the wilderness during the journey from Egypt had not.
So it wasn't a second time.
The Israelites had moved about in the wilderness 40 years until all the men who were of military age when they left Egypt had died. Since they had not obeyed the Lord, for the Lord had sworn to them that they would not see the land he had solemnly promised their ancestors to give us, a land flowing with milk and honey. So he raised up their sons in their place, and these were the ones Joshua circumcised. They were still uncircumcised because they had not been circumcised on the way. And after the whole nation had been circumcised, they remained where they were in camp until they were healed. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Today I have rolled away the reproach of Egypt from you. So the place has been called Gilgal to this day. Gilgal sounds like the Hebrew word for roll. On the evening of the 14th day of the month, while camped at Gilgal on the plains of Jericho, the Israelites celebrated the Passover. The day after the Passover, that very day, they ate some of the produce of the land, unleavened bread, and roasted grain. The manna stopped the day after, or the day, they ate this food from the land. There was no longer any manna for the Israelites, but that year they ate the produce of the Canaan. Now, when Joshua was near Jericho, he looked up and saw a man standing in front of him with a drawn sword in his hand. Joshua went up to him and asked, "Are you for us or for our enemies?" "Neither," he replied, "but as commander of the army of the Lord, I have now come." Then Joshua fell face down to the ground in reverence and asked him, "What message does my Lord have for his servant?" The commander of the Lord's army replied, "Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy." And Joshua did so.
Jesus.
Jesus.
What does the bubble say next to my Lord?
It says, "Or Lord."
Okay, it wasn't as fun. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's Jesus.
This Bible study seems like chaos to me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. This Bible study feels like chaos to me.
Exciting Bible chaos.
Okay. Go ahead, Mercedes. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
I'll keep up this time, I promise.
No worries. Now the gates of Jericho were securely barred because of the Israelites. No one went out and no one came in. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "See, I have delivered Jericho into your hands, along with its king and its fighting men. March around the city once with all the armed men. Do this for 6 days. Have 7 priests carry trumpets of ram's horns in front of the ark. On the 7th day, march around the city 7 times with the priests blowing the trumpets. When you hear them sound a long blast on the trumpets, have the whole army give a loud shout. Then the wall of the city will collapse, and the army will go up, everyone straight in." So Joshua, son of Nun, called the priests and said to them, "Take up the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and have 7 priests carry trumpets in front of it." And he ordered the army, "Advance, march around the city with an armed guard going ahead of the ark of the Lord." When Joshua had spoken to the people, the 7 priests carrying the 7 trumpets before the Lord went forward, blowing their trumpets, and the ark of the Lord's covenant followed them. The armed guards marched ahead of the priests who blew the trumpets, and the rear guard followed the ark. All this time the trumpets were sounding, but Joshua had commanded the army, "Do not give a war cry, do not raise your voice, do not say a word until the day I tell you to shout, then shout." So he had the ark of the Lord carried around the city, circling it once. Then the army returned to camp and spent the night there. Joshua got up early the next morning, and the priests took up the ark of the Lord. The 7 priests carrying the 7 trumpets went forward, marching before the ark of the Lord and blowing the trumpets. The armed men went ahead of them, and the rear guard followed the ark of the Lord, while the trumpets kept sounding. So on the 2nd day, they marched around the city once and returned to the camp. They did this for 6 days.
And they did this for 6 days.
On the 7th day, they got up at daybreak and marched around the city 7 times in the same manner, except on that day they encircled the city 7 times. The 7th time around, when the priest sounded the trumpet blast, Joshua commanded the army, "Shout, for the Lord has given you the city. The city and all that is in it are to be devoted to the Lord. Only Rahab the prostitute and all who are with her in her house shall be spared, because she hid the spies we sent. But keep away from the devoted things, so that you will not bring about your own destruction by taking any of them. Otherwise, you will make the camp of Israel liable to destruction and bring trouble on it. All the silver and gold and the articles of bronze and iron are sacred to the Lord and must go into his treasury." When the trumpet sounded, the army shouted, and at the sound of the trumpet, when the men gave a loud shout, the wall collapsed. So everyone charged straight in, and they took the city. They devoted the city to the Lord and destroyed with the sword everything in it, every living thing in it, men and women, young and old, cattle, sheep, and donkeys. Joshua said to the 2 men who had spied out the land, "Go into the prostitute's house and bring her out, and all who belong to her, in accordance with your oath to her." So the men who had done the spying went in and brought out Rahab, her father and mother, her brothers and sisters, and all who belonged to her. They brought out her entire family and put them in a place outside the camp of Israel. When they burned the whole city.
Then they burned the whole city
and everything in it, but they put the silver and gold and the articles of bronze and iron to the treasury of the Lord's house. But Joshua spared Rahab the prostitute with her family and all who belonged to her, because she hid the men Joshua had sent as spies to Jericho, and she lives among the Israelites to this day. At that time, Joshua pronounced this solemn oath: "Cursed before the Lord is the one who undertakes to rebuild the city Jericho. At the cost of his firstborn son, he will lay its foundations. At the cost of his youngest, he will set up its gates." So the Lord was with Joshua, and his fame spread throughout the land.
Wow. Well, I say we leave it here for today
What?
because we've read 6
Hold
chapters.
on. But we have to read our Jansen. Can we at least read one more?
Why?
Because it's 7. Because we marched around the thing 7 times.
Okay, but I'm reading it, so are you going to be okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to read one more, and then we're going to call it a night so that we can enjoy the rest of our evening.
At Jansen. Joshua 7. Woo! The Bible is so cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Chapter 7. But the Israelites were unfaithful in regard to the devoted things, aka the irrevocable giving over of things or persons to the Lord, often by totally destroying them also, in verses 11, 12, and 13, and 15. Okay, so basically they didn't actually do everything that Joshua asked. Achan, son of Carmi, the son of Zimri, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, took some of them. So the Lord's anger burned against Israel. Now Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is near Beth-aven to the east of Bethel, and told them, "Go up and spy out the region." So the men went up and spied out Ai. When they returned to Joshua, they said, "Not all the army will have to go up against Ai. Send 2,000 or 3,000 men to take it, and do not weary the whole army, for only a few people live there." So about 3,000 went up, but they were routed by the men of Ai, who killed about 36 of them. They chased the Israelites from the city gate as far as the stone quarries and struck them down on the slopes. At this, the hearts of the people melted in fear and became like water. Then Joshua tore his clothes and fell face down to the ground before the ark of the Lord, remaining there till evening. The elders of Israel did the same and sprinkled dust on their heads. And Joshua said, "Alas, sovereign Lord, why did you ever bring this people across the Jordan to deliver us into the hands of the Amorites to destroy us? If only we had been content to stay on the other side of the Jordan. Pardon your servant, Lord. What can I say now that Israel has been routed by its enemies? The Canaanites and the other people of the country will hear about this, and they will surround us and wipe out our name from earth. What then will you do for your own great name?" The Lord said to Joshua, "Stand up. What are you doing down on your face? Israel has sinned. They have violated my covenant, which I commanded them to keep. They have taken some of the devoted things. They have stolen. They have lied. They have put them with their own possessions. That is why the Israelites cannot stand against their enemies. They turn their backs and run because they have been made liable to destruction. I will not be with you anymore unless you destroy whatever among you is devoted to destruction. Go, consecrate the people. Tell them, consecrate yourselves in preparation for tomorrow, for this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. There are devoted things among you, Israel. You cannot stand against your enemies until you remove them. In the morning, present yourselves tribe by tribe. The tribe the Lord chooses shall come forward clan by clan. The clan the Lord chooses shall come forward family by family, and the family the Lord chooses shall come forward man by man. Whoever is caught with devoted things shall be destroyed by fire, along with all that belongs to him. He has violated the covenant of the Lord and has done an outrageous thing in Israel. Early the next morning, Joshua had Israel come forward by tribes, and Judah was chosen. The clans of Judah came forward, and the Zerahites were chosen. He had the clan of the Zerahites come forward by families, and Zimri was chosen. Joshua had his family come forward man by man, and Achan, son of Carmi, the son of Zimri, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, was chosen. Then Joshua said to Achan, "My son, give glory to the Lord, the God of Israel, and honor him. Tell me what you have done. Do not hide it from me." Achan replied, "It is true. I have sinned against the Lord, the God of Israel. This is what I have done. When I saw in the plunder a beautiful robe from Babylonia, 200 shekels of silver, and a bar of gold weighing 50 shekels, I coveted them and took them. They are hidden in the ground inside my tent with the silver underneath." So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran to the tent, and there it was, hidden in his tent with the silver underneath. They took the things from the tent, brought them to Joshua and all the Israelites, and spread them out before the Lord. Then Joshua, together with all Israel, took Achan, son of Zerah, the silver, the robe, the gold bars, his sons and daughters, his cattle, donkeys, and sheep, his tent, and all that he had, to the valley of Achor. Joshua said, "Why have you brought this trouble on us? The Lord will bring trouble on you today." Then all Israel stoned him, and after they had stoned the rest, they burned them. Over Achan they heaped up a large pile of rocks, which remains to this day. Then the Lord turned from his fierce anger. Therefore, that place has been called the Valley of Achor ever since. Achor means trouble. Interesting.
Wow.
What an interesting way to end this Bible study with stoning people, Interesting.
It's the Old Testament. That's what you get.
It's true.
There's a lot of weird things in the Old Testament.
It's true. But I think it was a very fun Bible study.
I love Joshua. Joshua is so fun.
It was interesting. I'm loving the Old Testament stuff because I'm also we just finished reading 1 Samuel. We're starting to read 2 Samuel with another Bible study. And I'm really enjoying reading Old Testament stuff because it's really tying back to what God has as a reflection and like alignment in the New Testament. And it's very cool because they're all saying the same things, similar, like it's the same God throughout the whole Bible, but the promise and the covenant changes when Jesus arrives, and then how people approach God is different just slightly, where they still have a fear of God, but it's like a relationship, like understanding.
Yeah, that's
respect,
what God wanted the whole time.
And I think it's really cool because God really put up a barrier when people asked to put up a barrier during Moses' time. Yeah. And so the laws really are evident of that. And it's interesting to see how harsh the reality was that they had to learn how those laws affected things because that was all new. So, and these guys, like, you got to think about it. It's like the first couple generations that were living under any kind of relationship type of any kind with God, besides sacrifices. And it was kind of interesting.
And that's why Paul being so radically saved is such a crazy thing, because he was one of the first to ever understand what God was doing.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool, and I'm excited to continue reading. So we'll be doing so next week. We'll be reading Joshua 8 and onward, and we will continue where we left off. So thank you guys for watching. Also, for those of you who are watching from a part of the Bible study group that is in person, we will have our Bible study this Friday at Hollywood Studios. So don't miss that. So we'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.